Okay, welcome to In Service. Now my mind is blank. Okay, so we just have a few announcements today since we have a very special speaker or presenter. We have, I think a text went out about this, but we're going to start something new, Caregiver Appreciation Day, and we're going to do it monthly. And so starting next month, it'll be on October 4th. That's a Wednesday. And it's going to go from 10 to 3. So that during that time, we'd like you to come in. We're going to have refreshments, and it's going to be different every time. I don't even know yet. Well, I know what we're doing on October 4th. Sometimes it'll be a treat thing. Sometimes it might be food thing. We'll probably let you know a little bit closer. But the idea is for you to come in, get something to eat, and talk to us. We used to have this thing. Well, I should tell you a little bit about me. I started with Aspen in 2007, and I was a caregiver, and then I worked in the office until about 2018. And we used to have caregivers come in all the time, and we would tell caregivers, don't tell your clients your problems because they have enough to deal with, but come tell us because we share our problems with each other. That's how we would get through life. And so we want you to feel like we're approachable in the office and that we're there for you. We want to support you. So this is a time where you can come in and ask questions. If you have questions about care, if you just have, you want to tell us about your terrible day that you had, or, whatever. We love sharing about our terrible days. We love sharing about our good things too. So this is just a time for you to come in, get a treat, hopefully feel a little more uplifted as your month goes on. We're going to do these at the beginning of the month, and then we have in-service at the end of the month. And it's going to be on a different day every month so that, if you can't make it in on that day, so that'll be a Wednesday in October. But anyway, we'll have more information coming about that.
And is it always at noon?
No, it's going to be from 10 to 3. So okay. You can come anytime during that time. Okay. Yeah, just so that it's flexible. We'll be there. So I'll be there the whole time. I probably Diane, maybe off and on, Allison off and on. If you have questions about, skills that you, or anything about caregiving that you have questions about, or if you want to pass off skills, or if you just want to come by and hang out. I mean, I'm sure you'd love to come and hang out in the office. I don't know. But yeah, we'll try to be fun. I can tell you what national day it is. I know all the national days. So anyway, so that will be October 4th, and there'll be more information coming about that. And then just our in-service for next month is going to be by Dignity Home Health and Hospice, and we have a nurse coming to show us bed care skills, I think.
I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. Okay. We're really on the ball. But it's going to be on the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, or 18th. It's on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
So the 18th,
19th, and 20th. Yeah, I told you. Brain cells. Okay. But it'll be that last week. I'm sorry, guys. I will not ever do this again where I don't sleep the night before. So, but I am a caregiver with Aspen. So. Okay, and that's all that I have. And Diane has a message, and then we will hear from our speaker. And let me just say, this is Mary Tanner. She used to be Mary Mitton, and she was a caregiver for Aspen. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself and you'll tell all about your projects. Okay. Yeah.
going to turn this main light off so that we can make a better recording for those that are going to watch this on can't be here in person.
All righty. Well, thanks so much. I'm excited to be here with all of you. I don't know if I'll be able to see your faces with the spotlight and the darkness, but grateful to be here. My name's Mary Tanner. I just have a little QR code up here, links to the survey that was emailed out. I have some paper copies as well. So just to get started, I want this to be a happy hour, hence the little mocktail drinks. And I'm going to talk about caregiver well-being and kind of kick off Wellness Month, just going through different mindful self-care things that we can be doing to take care of our well-being. And so today we're going to talk about mindfulness and self-compassion. But before we dive in, just want to give a little bit of background on me, just a little introduction. So I'm a family nurse practitioner. I'm working on getting my doctorate right now, hence all the surveys I'm having you guys fill out. You guys are my project, so I appreciate and so grateful for all of your participation. And all of those are completely anonymous, so none of the information can be tracked down to anyone, but just kind of looking at averages of everyone overall and looking for different patterns there. We'll take pretty much the same survey at the end of this 4-week period, and we'll do a fun little raffle. So I'll get into that in just a minute. But like it was mentioned, I first started working in healthcare as a caregiver here at Aspen while I was going to nursing school at BYU. And I learned a lot during that time and since, and just wanted to share some insights today on how to reduce burnout and how to improve well-being. So I just wanted to start out by sharing an experience I had as a caregiver working with a client here at Aspen. So I was assigned a weekly shift with a lady we'll call Mindy. And Mindy had early onset Alzheimer's and was with it enough to know kind of what was going on, but not with it enough to take care of herself and be safe. And so we had an initial meeting with the husband and I and Mindy, as well as another caregiver that had worked with them and established a good relationship. So we talked and everything seemed to be going well. And so planned to meet up with them, show up the next week and watch her while the husband was away. So the next week I arrived early in the morning and came into the house only to be directly turned away by Mindy. And I wasn't sure what to do, so I was hoping to wait a little bit, hoping that some Alzheimer's would kick in, some forgetfulness, and then try it again. And this time I got cussed out and kicked out. And then I tried one more time, going to the door, didn't even make it that far before she came walking around the other side of the house, cursing at me, and just took off at a high-speed walk down the road. So I tried to follow her at a distance so she wouldn't notice, but make sure that she didn't get lost or make sure that she was staying safe. And thankfully she made it back home all right, but I became a little distraught not knowing what to do. I wanted to do my job, be a good caregiver, but I didn't know how. I felt responsible for Mindy and caring for her, but I also felt totally out of control. And I didn't feel safe approaching her again. And ended up tearfully calling in backup with a couple ladies from the office came over and they brought donuts, hence the donuts we have today. So they knocked on the door, she opened up and she was totally happy and cheerful with them, said that she was doing fine. So I just kind of sat in my car, feeling like the worst caregiver on the planet, and waited until the husband returned home and then regrouped, got reacquainted with Mindy, and left on decent terms that day, but felt kind of like I was walking on eggshells going forward from that point on. But thankfully things got better over time. I learned how to approach and work with Mindy and learned things she liked, including Dr. Pepper, Motown music, watching Judge Judy, and looking through family scrapbooks. So eventually got to the point where I was greeted with a hug and told I love you and that I was her best friend. So these were happy changes and good times, but also sad because Mindy passed away just 2 months after my last shift with her. Then I dealt with the grief of her passing, but also the gratitude for my time with her. So I share this story to illustrate the many mixed emotions involved in caregiver and caregiving. And each of you, as caregivers working for Aspen, will experience a range of these emotions, experiences. I'm sure each of you has similar stories you could share. And caregiving, you experience these emotions that are difficult, stressful, overwhelming, but also meaningful, fun, and fulfilling. So with this broad range of emotions, I'm hoping to go over a few tools and strategies today and throughout this month to hopefully help reduce some of that burnout and encourage well-being and resilience. So there are more ways than just donuts that can help with when we're distraught, but they can definitely help. So make sure to enjoy those while we visit. And then we talked a little bit about the surveys and the raffle. So those that complete the surveys, the end of the post surveys, so after 4 weeks, there'll be another survey. It'll have a Google sheet at the end where you put your name in, and it'll enter you into a raffle. And we've got a few of these prizes up here. So we've got a little massage gun, coloring book, a Stanley water bottle, gift card. So hopefully we'll be able to hear from each of you and your experiences. And I hope that these training sessions will be meaningful to you and can help promote caregiver well-being. So we'll go ahead and move forward. So the theme for Wellness Month is to keep calm and care on. And so these are just some of the things I hope we'll be able to take away from today. We'll be talking about well-being, mindfulness, self-compassion, self-care. And as we go through, feel free to ask questions or make comments. With that, we'll go ahead and dive in. So burnout, someone has referred to this as a parallel pandemic. So we'll briefly discuss just the definition, prevalence, cause, effects, and solutions. And I like the imagery of fire because being a caregiver is kind of like playing with fire. It can be light, warm, enchanting, or it can burn you if you're not playing with it right. So what is burnout? Burnout is defined by the World Health Organization as a syndrome caused by chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And there's 3 dimensions to this. First is emotional exhaustion or fatigue. Second is depersonalization. So this is kind of like loss of empathy, caring, compassion, and kind of cynical about work. And then third is a decreased sense of personal accomplishment, manifest through feelings of insufficiency. So I don't know if anyone here has felt any of those feelings. I know that I have. And a poll done by Gallup in 2019 showed that there's actually 67% of employees say they're sometimes, very often, or always burned out. And they say that the prevalence is even higher among those working in healthcare. So odds are, if you haven't experienced it, the person next to you probably has. It's very prevalent, and there's a range. There's not like a set point of like, oh, you're officially burned out. So each of these components fall along a continuum, and you can feel varying amounts of each of these. And I think it's just important to note what burnout is not. Burnout is not laziness, it's not depression, and it's not anxiety. So what causes burnout? Just to explain this little chart, we've got some organizational factors over here, personal factors over here. So if you have a good amount of these factors, you're going to be promoting well-being and resilience. So if you have good self-care, good social connections, good work-life balance, you're going to be more resilient. If you have less self-care, less social connections, and so forth, you'll be more prone to burnout. So you can see there's lots of individual and organizational factors to burnout, including working long hours, isolation, dealing with patient suffering, lack of work experience, poor self-care, increased workload, high expectations, and low self-esteem. And those with tenacity, dedication, and strong sense of responsibility are also vulnerable to burnout. So those are some of the causes, and ultimately, burnout occurs when there's this imbalance of job demands and job resources. And working with elderly patients, as caregivers are not immune from stress and burnout, and experience emotional, physical exhaustion related to the demanding work among a growing and vulnerable population. So hopefully this Wellness Month will give you some tools and some resources to help balance those demands that are on your plate. So what are some of the consequences of burnout? And before I list off a few, does anyone have any thoughts, anything that they've seen personally or those around them, things that, ways that you've seen burnout manifest? I know I've worked with nurses that sometimes say before shift they like have a knot in their stomach or get nauseous. That's one of them, or just exhaustion, irritability, depression, anxiety, things like that, turnover. And it actually can decrease the quality of care and cause physical symptoms like headaches, muscle tension, even insomnia. So something that definitely want to prevent and address. Let's see. So thankfully there's a number of strategies and solutions to help reduce burnout and improve well-being. So is there anything that anyone here has done that's helped you or someone else that you know reduce burnout? Maria?
I just watch movies or like listen to music.
Uh-huh.
But not like, I feel like if you're very stressed, like you just kind of lock yourself in the car and scream.
Yeah, movies, music, those are great outlets, and letting that stress out, not in front of other people, but just giving it kind of an outlet or release. That's great. Yeah.
When I first started with Aspen, I didn't really have any experience working with seniors, and I would call, and I didn't really have any experience working with people with dementia. And I worked with a client who was kind of difficult, and I just called. I don't know if those of you remember Tammy. Yeah. I called Tammy all the time, and they probably got sick of me, but she was so good at helping me kind of process what was going on, because I had a client that would just get hysterical at times, and I didn't know what to do. Like you were saying, like I felt like the worst caregiver in the world. I mean, I've taken care of my parents and another lady in my neighborhood, but as the more experience I got, then I got to know kind of what I was doing. But it really helped to be able to talk to someone about how I was feeling rather than just keeping it all to myself.
I love that. And I love that you guys are doing the Caregiver Appreciation Day, because that's just an open invitation to be able to talk with your awesome office managers and kind of discuss anything that you're struggling with your shifts or clients. Yeah.
One thing I really like about our company, and I work for other companies, is that we can choose and pick our clients, and we can choose and pick our hours. And I recently cut my hours in half because my husband has cancer, and he's able to do less and less to help me. So I do more. Plus, I hire teenagers to come in and help me clean my house. Then I don't have to spend humongous amounts of money on a regular housekeeper. That is really helpful, even 1 hour a week.
I like that. That was one thing I asked my mom this question, and she's like, getting someone to help clean the house. So just some of those little things can sometimes take a big load off of your shoulders. So yeah, being self-aware of your personal needs, reflective on what you need, can make a big difference in practicing that self-care. And one specific strategy organizations have been able to use to help mitigate burnout and improve caregivers' overall well-being is through mindfulness-based interventions. And so that's kind of what this Wellness Month is. Mindfulness-based interventions promote mindfulness through training, practice, resources in order to foster healthier ways of coping with experiences, such as focusing on the present moment and enhancing awareness, attention, and acceptance. So MBI is an umbrella term for various mindfulness strategies, including training resources to practice. So there's some examples there: breathing, journaling, yoga, and so forth. And we'll be practicing mindfulness, meditation, self-compassion, and self-care. So with that background, I just want to introduce you to the mindfulness-based intervention for Aspen Senior Care this month. So there's 3 components. The first major component will be weekly trainings. This week we're doing mindfulness and self-compassion. And then we'll be doing, have access to an online module, just a 30-minute training. Next week it'll be sent out on Monday about gratitude and connection. Week 3 is rest and relaxation, and week 4 is movement and nutrition. And each of you should have picked up a little journal and a bookmark, and the QR code on the bookmark will take you to the website as well that has links to these modules. And then in addition to the trainings, there's a toolkit of online resources on the website. And that the journal, Wellness Month journal, is part of that toolkit. And once again, the QR code will take you to the website where kind of everything should be housed on there. And then the third component is the Wellness Challenge, which will include a company-wide goal of recording 3 good things each day. So that's part of what the journal is for. You can write down those 3 good things each day. And then an individual goal that you will create after each weekly session. So we'll discuss those a little bit in more detail at the end today. So there's just a little quick peek of the website. I'll forego going there, but just has links to each of the weekly things as well as the toolkit. And then there's an overview. If you click on the overview, we'll tell you everything we just talked about. So with that, let's take a brief stretch break. It's a form of self-care. So you can do your whatever stretch you want, or you can follow me. Just do neck forward, back, go side to side, and a circle both ways. Throw arms forward and back, up. You can give yourself a big old hug. All right, you can grab another drink if you need. I'll just keep plugging along. So, we discussed how there's numerous factors that contribute to burnout, and the same is true of well-being. So today we'll discuss what we can do on a personal level to enhance your own well-being by implementing a few research-based strategies. So well-being refers to a state of being healthy, happy, and content. It encompasses both physical and mental health, as well as social and emotional wellness. And it's not, well-being is not merely the absence of illness or disease, but rather the holistic state of thriving. So the goal is not merely to survive, but to thrive. And then for this mindfulness-based intervention, the surveys you took before and after, we're using a survey created by the Mayo Clinic. So that's one of those you'll see in the questionnaire. And then I just want to talk a little bit about what contributes to happiness. So there's lots of things that are outside of our control that we can't change. But to a large degree, our happiness can be impacted by the things we do. So approximately 50% of our happiness is based off genetics, 10% off of our environment, and then 40% off of voluntary variabilities. So I hope it's empowering to see those numbers and recognize that up to 40% of factors related to our happiness, meaning well-being, is something that you can personally affect and improve. And it's a skill that you can cultivate and develop. So,
April had a question.
oh yeah, April.
Or comment, when you were talking about control. I had a really good exercise with a therapist one time where they drew a big circle and then a little circle in the middle. And they said, this little circle, that's you. The big circle, this is everybody else and everything else. The only thing you can control is you and your reaction to it, how you, and my family was messed up. Anyways, it really helped me kind of like, learn how to emotionally, choose how I was going to react to everything, and that I was going to be able to control the outside, but only my reaction to it. It's a big shift for me.
I like that. And that perspective makes a big difference when your focus goes from looking at all these things you can't control and trying to stress out about that, but then recognizing I can't do anything about that, so I'm not going to stress about that. Yeah. I like that. Alrighty. So the skills and practices that we're going to learn together won't necessarily take you from playing with fire to breathing with fire, but hopefully they'll help you move from getting burned on your caregiver journey and provide strategies to promote well-being. So probably not the best analogy, but promoting well-being through mindful self-care may help reduce burnout and lead to happier, healthier lifestyles. And mindfulness is a skill, so we're going to start learning and practicing. So mindfulness that'll be the foundation of everything we do. It'll help us practice self-compassion and self-care. So what is mindfulness? Jon Kabat-Zinn defined it as non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. So it involves paying attention to one's thoughts, feelings, breath, bodily sensations, and becoming more aware of one's surroundings and interactions with others. So how many of you in here have practiced mindfulness before? Wow, I'm impressed. You guys are awesome. And for those of you that haven't, just you wait. How about, does anyone here play a musical instrument? Okay, kind of. So if I asked someone here that didn't play a musical instrument to come up and play the violin, it probably wouldn't sound so great. Versus, Julie's daughter-in-law, Sarah, went to Juilliard, has played at Bravenel Hall. We'd love listening to her. But moral of the story, if you've practiced an instrument, it takes a lot of work and time and practice to cultivate that skill. Similarly, mindfulness is a skill that we can practice each day and be able to cultivate and appreciate and help reduce stress and promote well-being. So mindfulness is cultivated through a variety of practices, such as meditation, yoga, mindful breathing exercises. So these are kind of like doing arpeggios and scales on a violin. It involves focusing the mind on the present moment and becoming more attuned to one's internal and external experiences. And there's both formal and informal practices. So formal would be, they've got like this 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program that you spend 2.5 hours each a week, and it's pretty time intensive. Or there's informal practices that you can do in your activities of daily living, such like when you're talking on the phone, you get that first ring, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna take a deep breath. The next ring, like, okay, I'm gonna actually listen to the person. And then on the third ring, you actually pick up. Or if you're walking, you're feeling the ground beneath your feet. You're hearing the sounds around you, seeing the scenery, taking it in. Or driving, you take a moment to rein it in versus just yelling at everyone on the road. So it can be practiced in a variety of ways. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 2-minute little mindfulness exercise together.
Let yourself take a moment to just turn inward and focus in on your breath, not trying to change it in any way, as much as just noticing. And notice sensations in your body. And again, not trying to shift anything as much as noticing. Feeling yourself seated or lying down. Just noticing where your body's making contact with surfaces. And now gently bring in awareness of sounds in the room, perhaps the feeling of air on your skin, and just noticing, not trying to change anything. And then bringing your awareness back to your breath, noticing where you notice it the most. It might be around your nostrils, it might be in your chest, feeling the up and down, or maybe in the belly. And just noticing wherever it's easiest to notice. Feeling the wave of the breath going through your body. And letting yourself just finish in your own way, opening your eyes when you're ready.
Alrighty. So hopefully you can take just a second and reflect on how that experience was for you. Maybe it was boring, maybe it was calming or just weird, but just be aware of whatever you're experiencing and don't judge it. You don't need to change your thoughts, just be aware of them. It's kind of trippy thinking about how you think, inception level there. So a big part of mindfulness is simply being where you are. So take a moment to think about your current level of mindfulness. Is your mind usually where your feet are? Moment to moment awareness helps you live life in the present, and it's called the present because it's a gift. Living in the past leads to rumination and depression, and living in the future leads to anxiety. So mindfulness training helps us to focus on the present. And practicing mindfulness is something that takes practice, but doesn't have to take any additional time. For example, next time you're in the shower, you can just take a moment to see if you are where your feet are. Is your mind in the shower, or is it with your last client or on an upcoming assignment? So I'd invite you to take a moment throughout your day to be fully in the moment, to be fully present. And you can do this right now while you're in the shower, really at any moment in time. Just take a moment to be still and ask yourself, is my mind in the same place as my body? And then don't judge yourself, just be aware. So we've talked about what mindfulness is and how to practice it. These are some of the benefits there, both physically, mentally, and there's thousands of studies documenting the benefits of mindfulness, including reducing symptoms of depression, anxiety, even pain, improving cognitive function, enhances relationships, improves job satisfaction, promotes health, even for those with high blood pressure, cancer, chronic pain, migraines, heart conditions, diabetes, and other ailments. So this is something you could even practice with your clients. They probably have a lot of these ailments and can benefit from mindfulness as well. So another mindfulness exercise practice together just briefly called the Five Senses Tour. So I'll just briefly check in with each of your senses. So start with vision, with your sight, and focusing your eyes and exploring what you see, maybe details you haven't noticed before. And then ears, listening to what you hear or potentially surrounding silence. Smells, breathing in and out through your mouth or through your nose, feeling that movement of the air and recognizing what you smell. And touch. And notice the chair you're sitting on, supporting your weight and your back. Maybe feel the clothes you're wearing or the air on your skin. And last, the taste. Become aware of your mouth, sensations on your tongue, the taste of your saliva. Maybe you can still sense the flavor of the drink syrup or a donut, but just remain in this moment for a little longer and appreciate how amazing your body is and how it interacts with the environment surrounding you. And this is a good grounding exercise that you can do at any point in time. Okay, so next I want to explore the topic of self-compassion. And this is defined as having compassion for oneself, treating yourself with care, with kindness and understanding, and especially in the face of difficulty or failure. So there's three main components of self-compassion, and these are mindfulness, self-kindness, and connectedness. So you'll notice that mindfulness is one of the core elements of self-compassion, and this is because it helps you recognize and be aware of what you are experiencing, whether that's difficult emotions, suppressing those, or maybe you're experiencing good things and recognizing that. Self-kindness is typically what we think of when we talk about self-compassion. It's the idea of treating yourself the same, with the same amount of kindness as you would treat a good friend. And then connectedness or common humanity is recognizing that everyone struggles and experiences hard times, and this is part of the human experience. So you shouldn't judge yourself for struggling, but accepting and honoring your humanness. So I have two main tips for practicing self-compassion. One is just to start small, and the second is to simply be kind to yourself. And so these are just a few things with practicing self-compassion. So speaking to yourself kindly, treating yourself like a friend, acknowledging, validating your feelings, and then practicing mindfulness and self-care are also important for self-compassion. So I'll do another 2-minute exercise together, and this one is self-compassion.
Self-compassion supports us to be with our vulnerabilities, which are often also the sources of creativity, belonging, and love. So give yourself a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how am I? Acknowledging anything that's present without needing to fix or judge it right now. Perhaps welcoming in something that's moderately stressful or challenging, and simply noting it. Stress, tiredness, worry. Remember that you're not alone in feeling this, and offer yourself some kindness. What is needed? Perhaps a warm touch to the place that hurts, your gut or your heart. Or perhaps offer some words of support and encouragement. What might you tell a good friend? It's okay to feel this right now. You got this. And then perhaps taking in another deep breath. Starting again with a fresh breath and releasing what is not needed right now.
Alrighty. So once again, just check in with yourself and how that experience was for you. And hopefully it was a good experience. We have additional practices and resources available for you on the Caregiver Wellbeing website. And then got a quote. Would someone be willing to read that? Yeah.
A moment of self-compassion can change your entire day. A string of such moments can change the course of your life.
Awesome. Thanks. Love that. So there's numerous benefits to practicing self-compassion and considerable evidence showing that higher levels of self-compassion are associated with positive aspects of well-being, such as resilience, happiness, and inversely correlated with negative constructs such as anxiety and depression. And self-compassion helps reduce self-criticism and also helps us to foster self-care. So self-care is defined as a daily process of being aware of and attending to one's basic physiological and emotional needs. So this includes shaping one's daily routine, relationships, and environment as needed to promote self-care. And it's a pretty broad term and topic, but it includes activities in the physical, emotional, spiritual, and social realms. And everyone's needs are different, and so everyone's self-care routine is going to look different. And even in your own life, that may look different at different times, and that's totally okay. So we're going to approach self-care just from a place of mindfulness and encourage self-compassion as you try to better care for yourself so that in turn you can better care for others. So here's just some types of self-care. And it's not a new earth-shattering concept, nor is it complex, lofty, or exclusive. And it is just like it sounds, nurturing yourself by doing the things that preserve or improve mental and physical health. So self-reflecting is a good way to recognize what those needs are and being mindful of your self-care needs. So maybe think about what some things are that you do for self-care, or maybe some things that you would like to do for self-care. So research suggests that steady and intentional practice of self-care may prevent the onset of mental health symptoms, job and school burnout, and improve work and school productivity. Have any of you noticed benefits from practicing self-care? Yeah, definitely. Awesome. That's great. Yoga every day is awesome. Yeah.
Kind of allowing positive thinking, like instead of going negative, spiraling, allowing the space for positive thoughts to enter.
I like that. And mindfulness can be helpful there, just recognizing when you do start to spiral down or just taking a step back and trying to reverse that spiral. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Praise songs on iHeartRadio.
Okay.
It just shifts it fast for me.
I love
Just
that.
praising for everything, even if it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, music is powerful for sure. So as you can see, there's numerous benefits to self-care, and developing these skills has been shown to reduce stress and caregiver burdens. So I'm gonna finish by going over kind of the wellness challenge. So 3 good things is one self-care practice that we'll do together as part of the wellness challenge for Wellness Month. And 3 good things is an exercise. The purpose is to practice and cultivate gratitude and positive emotions and sense of well-being. So in a nutshell, 3 good things is basically a gratitude journal, finding 3 good things from each day and kind of what your role is in that. So it's an intervention that involves reflecting on and writing down those 3 things that happened each day. So at the end of the day, before you go to bed, just write down the 3 things, and you can practice this by asking these 2 questions. What are 3 good things that happened today, and what was your role in making that happen? Like I mentioned, we've got the journals for you. There's a sheet that you can record each of those 3 good things every day for a month, or there's even an app that will send you notifications to remind you of that. And those are kind of some of the steps that to be successful in doing 3 good things can be helpful to just set aside a time. It has been shown that like writing it down right before bedtime is the most powerful time to do it. But whenever you're able to do it, just do it, and then kind of reflect periodically how your experience is with that. So people that have completed this exercise before, 95% of them would recommend it to others. There's a hospital group in Michigan that did this, an entire healthcare center. And their 4-week experience, they said the first week was hard, the second week was easier, and then the 3rd week was fun, and the 4th week was powerful. And we're training our brains to hopefully savor the good that surrounds us, even during the difficult times. So it's a quick, simple, easy exercise, and it helps reduce burnout and increase well-being. And it helps us counteract that natural tendency to kind of downward spiral a little bit, and to focus on and highlight more of the positive that exists around us. So interesting, some studies have showed that the results of this intervention trend slightly higher than an SSRI, which is an antidepressant, on effectiveness of improving happiness even at 6 months. After the intervention had a 40% drop in depression. And then a 2-week intervention at Duke Healthcare, with healthcare workers practicing 3 good things, they saw a 22% decrease in burnout. That was sustained 1 year later, which is pretty remarkable. So they found 3 good things for 2 weeks, and a whole year later, they still had sustained effects from that practice. So hopefully you'll see some of those benefits in your life as well. Just a quick few final tips. So don't practice 3 good things to dismiss or negate the hard experiences through toxic positivity. But we use it to acknowledge and care for our hard feelings and recognize the good that is present. And then talked about maximizing the effect by doing it right before bed. So the thoughts we review in the hours before sleep stay in our memories longer. And research even recognizes that when we practice gratitude, it can help us relax and even sleep better. So, and then if you're feeling negative or having a hard time, just keep going. It's totally okay. And if you
Sometimes it helps to just get it out in another way, like to get out of your body. Like express it in some other way.
Absolutely. It's true. Just getting it out, and then you don't hold on to it as much.
A lot of my
I love it. That's excellent. Okay, so, and if you miss a day, just keep going. So starting tonight, hopefully before you hit the hay, don't forget to record your 3 good things, and we'll do this all together as part of the wellness challenge for 1 month, and hopefully it'll be a powerful experience for you. I know it has been, as I've done that in my life. And then the second part of the wellness challenge is setting a personal goal to improve well-being at the end of each weekly session. So this could be something you want to try and implement that we talked about during the session, or something else that you feel like would be beneficial to you. So just take a moment to ask yourself, what am I doing to take care of myself and refill my cup? And what one thing can I do this week to improve my well-being? And we'll use the mindful self-care skill to help reflect on some potential relevant goals. So you can also ask yourself, how is my mindful awareness? Do I have calm awareness of my thoughts, feelings, and body? And how is my mindful self-compassion? Do I kindly acknowledge my own challenges and difficulties? Do I engage in supportive, comforting self-talk? Do I give myself permission to feel my feelings? And do I experience meaning and or larger purpose in my work and school life? And just looking at the preliminary results of some of the surveys, it's cool seeing that almost everyone found a lot of meaning in their work. And so Aspen is an awesome place to be in, a great supportive environment. So I want you to think about and reflect on your goal for this week. And setting goals, tracking habits can help turn a healthy practice we do one day into a long-term habit. So for some people, using the SMART goal framework is helpful, meaning specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. But once you have your goal for the week, write it down either in your journal or on your phone. There's some place that you'll be able to look at and remember and reflect on. So your goal could be to improve calm awareness of my thoughts. I'll spend 5 minutes on the app Insight Timer when I wake up in the morning, or I'll start and end my day with a prayer, or I will take notice where my mind is when I'm in the shower, or I'll engage in supportive self-talk when I look at my grades or something else. Whatever you choose to work on, just remember to write it down and reflect on your progress throughout the week. So, in conclusion, mindfulness, self-compassion, and self-care are practices that can combat stress and burnout and help improve well-being. So, a final reminder on the wellness challenge: remember to do the 3 good things. And good luck with your personal goal, whatever that is. And you can have a new personal goal each week throughout this wellness month. And then look for an email on Monday that will be sent out with the link for Module 2, or you can scan the QR code and it's on the website there. So I'll hopefully be able to sneak back here next month for the in-service. I wanted to bring a celebratory Costco cake to culminate Wellness Month. But I hope it's a good experience for all of you. We'll have the raffle prizes as well for those that are able to complete the surveys. And hopefully feel motivated to improve your well-being and practice mindful self-care. So I'm excited for you guys. Any final questions or comments? I've got my email up here. If you guys have any, feel free to contact me at any point. But yeah, just remember to keep calm and care on. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mary. That was really good. I know that there's a lot of apps online, or just apps you can get online. I have a free app called Fit On. You can pay for it, but there's a free site. I started using it when I Anyway, this is for you. Thank you for coming. And we still have we still have refreshments here. You're welcome to have, and we'll see you.